It is.
Something like that. So, but yeah, let them in here if we can, because we can frag them and then shoot them.
Are you streaming?
I'm streaming.
Okay.
Look at Sunny, just assuming he's gonna be FTL.
Alright, so we do get 1G. I'd like to have that. Please. Dash will grab that. I need 2 ARs. Lex gets one. Airborne gets the other. Do you want to head to? Sure. Covering the other two, sorry, Lon will be covering the other two entrances at the other two skull marks. And then south on that part of the upper wall. So probably Dash and somebody else will be down there, keeping an eye out south, trying to make the south a kill box. Alright, thank you, Lex.
Trying to great box for the lack too. Or the other way.
Stairway
out at least a squad, or twice our number dead. That's all we care about. After that, we're pretty much just gonna go Rambo. Sorry, not Rambo. We're just gonna go. We're gonna go Taliban.
Hunter killer.
We're gonna go Taliban and just hide around.
Dorf, I like advised, this is home run's first op.
Sugar, do you want me using ladders to the roof at all?
We're gonna go up around Ford resupply, the U.S. Ford resupply. We're gonna cut around east.
You guys get to
We're gonna drop our water fob on that water marker that's on the map right now.
You got already on you.
It's gonna push
That's
the
me.
castle from the north. So the rock's on the north side, and the plan is to take that lower side first. So the western side of the castle.
Got me.
Once we got a foothold in there and we're regrouped, then we're gonna push up the elevated side of the castle to the east. That's the overall plan.
I got one question. No, it's mostly land surrounded, but there's a bridge. Do you have to cross the bridge or can you use the water?
So I think Doc said
Might be doing Air Force ROTC.
Yeah, we're
If I can't get into the Army ROTC, I'm doing Air Force ROTC.
We got about 5 minutes until live, so I just want to get it done.
5 minutes until live. Hurry up, get over here.
Oh god. You need to change to a medic.
No, I checked. He's got the medic kit. There's anything
It's
against
just
the
going.
Oh. Welcome to welcome to Squad Ops One Life's event. We got Operation Rook for you tonight. Getting word that the U.S. brief is underway, so we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into that.
Against all Rusky advances. They are trying to establish presence in this town, and we cannot let that happen, since we are, in fact, in control of it right now. So the main plan is going to be relatively simple. We have Rose Dragon on Upper Citadel defense, Upper Citadel being the spot that you're at now. Lower Citadel is going to be handled by Lawn Darts. Wait.
Go. Lawn, sorry.
Yeah, I did seed, so there's one Logi halfway through, so I'll sort it. I'll get one guy to spawn with me. I'll pick up the other Logi, take it back to me.
Keep comms clear.
Alright. So, anyways, to continue, Lawn Darts will be handling the Lower Citadel. Lower Citadel is the area that is marked by the green fobs. That lower area. Axe Gaming will be providing security for the entire force in the north. You will be placing guys in buildings and overall just keeping eyes and ears open. Dorf will be out harassing the enemy out near gas station. Hopefully he'll be able to knock out some of their armor before they get too close and maybe even destroy their logistics. We shall see. Does anybody have any questions?
Are there any more than just one lat going to the logistics truck?
So, the logistics truck can be handled by small arms fire. The lat doesn't need to necessarily be the thing that blows it up. The lats are probably going to be reserved for armor. At least that's what Dorf's plan is.
All right, that was the U.S. brief for Operation Rook. And,
all right, any other questions?
We're going to sneak a peek over here as the Russian brief gets started. So let's take a listen in.
Act as a platoon at all times. We're not going to split up. We're going to have some fun. We're going to take the MTLBs and Logis straight out of Maine across the railroad bridge. So drivers, make sure you're comfortable in doing so. If you're not comfortable and you've been assigned as a driver for one of the vehicles, please let your squad leader know so that he can reassign you. Basically, we're going to get up onto this road over here, and a little too far. And we're going to make a turn there, come up to the main road on Narva. We're going to go across the bridge.
Yes.
Everyone's going to drop off around that area with the skull marker, and we're going to get infantry clearing the buildings. While the infantry is clearing, we're going to walk the MTLBs up to around the corner at gas station, where they are going to provide overwatch on the windows of the buildings, all on the other side of the road, because we're not going to have any infantry crossing the road. Remember, if you're wide out in the open as infantry, an AR can cut you down easily, so keep that in mind. At that point, Phoenix is going to snatch the Logi truck and drive along this route, where he's going to park somewhere around the green fob marker. When that happens, we're going to back up the MTLBs. We're not going to turn around because that would be presenting the rear armor to the enemy. We're going to back up to the sniper marked road, and we're going to regroup with the Logis, and we're going to load up as a platoon. From that point, we're going to move north along this route that I'm marking with the green fob markers. And we are going to move around the buildings. We're not going to try and engage any U.S. infantry that may be in the buildings or at the field here. We're going to move around, and we are going to set up as a platoon with security around this location. We're going to place down our mortar fob. At that point, if we still have the Logi truck and we are able to place down the mortar fob, we're going to walk as a platoon, clear building by building, make sure that every building is clear as we move through the village, and overtake the rock formations on the north side of the castle. Now, when we overtake the rock formations on the northern side of the castle, we need to be aware of the roof of castle, where the enemy will likely have snipers and fortifications. And we need to be aware of both of the corner locations where people often like to sit. Once we get there, we're going to get superior firepower down on their position, and we are going to take the lower part of castle away from them first. So before we assault the upper portions of the castle, we're going to take the lower portion of castle. When we take the lower portion of castle, so that means when we have troops inside the lower portion of castle, we will begin assaulting up this staircase. I'm marking with the hab marker. It is a very dangerous staircase to go up, but if we don't push up there, I believe it'll be a big weakness of ours. And we will push troops around to the rock face so that we can get up onto this portion of castle with relative ease. At that point, we will be storming the upper portion of castle from 3 sides. Hopefully our superior numbers and firepower at that point will take them down. If you have at any time, if you stall out, if you lose your aggression, if you lose your momentum, you will be pinned down and cut apart. If you come under AR fire and you go prone, you will be taken out. Any point in time you stall out, you will probably be taken out by enemy positions. We have some very good marksmen on the U.S. team, so keep that in mind when you're taking cover. Any questions from anyone?
Once we have the mortar fob set up, what did you say the MTLBs are going to be doing?
MTLBs are going to probably providing close infantry support.
Right for that.
Once we get on the rocks, they will be helping us provide overwatch and being directed around as needed. We'll try and keep them out of the city as much as possible, as that will be their weakness. Try and count anyone who's driving. Try and count the enemy lat shots as you hear them go off, so that you know exactly how many lats they have left and what you need to worry about. Try to reverse if you are facing enemy contact.
All right.
Please do not.
And that was the bulk of the Russian sort of plan here. They're going to attack a castle, and that's what Rook is all about. Rook is about this castle that exists. It's called Herman Castle, and the U.S. have a nice outpost here. It's right next to a checkpoint. Actually, it's more like a border crossing. And The idea is that the Russians, they want this castle. They want to take it over. The U.S. Patrol here, they're going to try to dig in and make sure that doesn't happen. There's some supplies that the Russians can liberate in the center of the map near a gas station. There's a supply truck. And if they get that, they're able to start moving more supplies across the border, and they can sort of create this indirect fire base that could be pretty deadly. But before all that, let's, that's what Rook is all about. It's basically attack, defend around this castle. The U.S. are going to be defending it. The Russians are going to try to unseat the American occupiers. The foothold that the Americans have on this particular riverbank. And as far as everything else about this broadcast, I'm bcarr. I'll be calling the action for y'all tonight. We're doing 2 rounds of this. So what happens is round 1, the teams are like this. Round 2, everyone switches teams. We play the operation again. Different tactics usually take hold. But we will see how that happens later. Producing our multicam footage is Shattered Ritual. We've got a fair few cameras of point of views of players in this operation, Squad Ops members. And we're getting ever closer to live here. Actually, in 30 seconds, we're gonna get going on live here. Commanding today, Storm is going to command Russia, and his squad leaders are going to be Assault, Iron Tyrant, Phoenix, and HML. For the U.S. in round 1, we have Sugart commanding with Rose Dragon, Lawn Darts, Axe Gaming, and Dorf. And we are live.
Make sure to tell them to watch the chat.
And the MTLB just drives straight into the 10 out of 10 driving.
I can't shoot my binoculars.
And there's a fender bender. Standard Russian start.
Some eyes on Southern Road for now. They may try to.
The MTLBs have NSVT weapons. They're auto cannons, but they're pretty light in the caliber compartment. And they're great for moving a lot of troops around. The entire team is about 40 players. And between the 2 MTLBs, I imagine a good many of them are in there. And they also have a transport truck that just seems to have 1 squad in it. So the Russians are going to move out from their base, and they're going to move straight to securing the logistics truck as fast as possible. The U.S. have probably set up an ambush for when the Russians liberate those supplies. And once again, we have the driving 10 out of 10 here. I think we're actually going to dismount, maybe?
Let's get a right turn.
Nope, we're just trying to find out where to go. We're going to take a look at the Logi situation here. And there is a squad moving out. So the U.S. are going to commit 1 full squad to the ambush of the Logi.
I want a fire team in the building to my north.
The rules
and I want
for
a
this
fire
operation
team,
are that the
U.S.
U.S. are not allowed to fire on civilian
I'll
vehicles.
say north. That north building, north
And the Russians haven't.
Also, don't be advised, the doors
the Russians,
are on
when
the
the
west
Russians
side.
actually take control of the vehicle and commandeer it, that's when the U.S. are allowed to engage via their ROE. The logistics truck is actually parked here at this gas station. I suppose it was. I guess it's like a military convoy truck that was just that has some surplus parts, but it's got just enough for what the Russians need. The 98 octane stuff is 1,420. I'm assuming that's per liter. I wonder what unit of money this would be. But this is where the Russians are going to try to get their Logi back from. And you can see here the U.S. are actually in buildings. And the Russians have dismounted a squad from one of the MTLBs. They are moving out. They're going to secure some buildings, if I'm not mistaken. They want to secure some buildings so that they can give some oversight to whoever is tasked with actually commandeering the Logi. The U.S. full squad, they're in 2 buildings. They're looking through windows. They're going to try to pop some vehicles.
I have eyes on MTLB and dismounts. To my south.
Yep, they're moving right.
And here we go. 2 MTLBs are moving up.
A whole squad in the open. 2 whole squads, 2 MTLBs.
Hey,
2 squads, 2 MTLBs.
Moving towards you 3.
Once again, I see them. I see them all. It's the intersection right.
Russians doing a pretty solid walk up here. They got 2 people. They're using the MTLB as cover. That's cute.
I got US infantry northwest side. MTLBs need to look northwest in the windows.
Northwest in the building.
Everyone get off of the east side of the street. Everyone off the east side.
They've spotted. The Russians have spotted the U.S. looking through windows, not being conspicuous or inconspicuous at all. And the squad leader, you can see here, has the radio on his back, has his little antenna there. He has spotted the Russians. Of course, the Russians are rolling up in, you know, diesel APCs, so it's not like they're being silent about it. Ooh, take a look at this guy. This is Silas. He's got an AT-4, and he is waiting to ambush the... He's waiting to ambush the MTLBs as they come around. He's got himself a little garage here. He's already got his rocket out, so he's waiting. He's waiting to go for it. But some Russians are coming up on his position here.
Actually, cancel that. Wrong coordinates. Wrong callouts. That is, there's guys in the building at E423. Right next to squad 1. Guys in that building.
Copy.
This is Silas's current view, and you know what? He's actually hiding. I imagine he has like the smallest sliver right here. There's actually people in the building right next to him. Oh, and Silas comes out. He gets a shot on the APC. The MTLB is hit. Looks like the back rear armor, but... And the ambush has commenced. MTLB, the lead MTLB gets hit. Doesn't look like any casualties. Russians just stop. They drop on the ground. And the U.S. forces begin trying to take some pot shots, but the MTLB has that autocannon and it's silenced them pretty harshly.
We just need to get in this building here so we can get fire across the street.
Matter of fact, they're getting shot at from building to building. Slayer there gets a few hot shots off on this U.S. soldier, and he retreats in. The squad that's tasked with getting the Logi is actually pushed all the way up, and they're getting shot at from the roof, and one goes down. That's a squad lead dead, taken out by that's Sonny on the top floor of that apartment building. Went out on the little balcony back there and just murdered that SL. So that's a significant chain of command link already damaged. U.S. casualties over here in the ambush force, 1 down, as the rest of the U.S. forces hold out upstairs. Some bandaging going on here too. And Lord Chanka goes down. There's already an SL dead over here too. 4 Russians dead. 4 Russians plus 1 because Lord Chanka was not the SL to begin with for this squad. And now Hamdog is in command, so that's a lot of command structure gone. The Russians have thrown a lot of force here, and
Yep,
it's
I'm aware.
not happening. It's not happening for them. This is not good.
They're under me right now. Is somebody in this?
I don't know why they're on this side of the road. I get that they want to try to squeeze out all of these forces. I guess I wonder if Slayeron knows that Silas is in this room.
Just move south, guys. Let's go.
And the Russian force is trying to reconsolidate here to get out. I wouldn't push building to building right now. I mean, if the U.S. are going to be here, why not push to the objective and at least try to figure out if there's any Americans on the objective? Right now, this squad has taken out at least 9 Russians. MTLB takes 1 out through the door there into the staircase of this apartment building and spots another. Logi. The Russians are retreating here. The Russians have taken significant casualties from what's supposed to be a pretty minor maneuver for them. They have armor advantage, even though one of their MTLBs have been hit, and they've swapped it out. The MTLB that's been hit, I think, is behind in the formation now. Maybe leapfrogging. I wonder what he's looking for. I think he's just here to pick up some soldiers. That's 9 casualties for... Yeah, 9 casualties for Russia, 3 casualties for U.S. Pretty good trade here. It's actually an amazing trade right now. And yeah, Russians are getting out of here. Silas already shot his AT-4, so he's just hanging out here. I wonder if he's looking for people to come look for him. And command here, Storm, has fallen back. They're trying to reconsolidate. I wonder, I think everyone has just gotten in the MTLB here.
Alright. Get eyes on those northwest windows.
I wonder, I guess they're just going to punch
Squad
through
1,
now.
stop your MTLB. Squad 1, stop. Alright.
Storm's going to get in the MTLB.
So, now that I have comms with you guys again, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move north like we normally were going to do. We're just going to pull west from the Nordy, what I want you to do is I want you to hop out of that seat and I'm gonna drive. Just because I need comms with you so that I can...
Alright, go ahead.
I got
The command is trying to reroute the MTLBs here in their entire attack. And the MTLB is taking pot shots at whatever it can see. I think it actually got one. There's only 3 US in that building now, so I'm pretty sure he got one.
I'm moving a little bit.
Yeah, I think he got one through a window.
Say again.
Command, we still have stragglers pinned in our buildings. However, we've killed at least 1 to 2 full squads.
Copy that. Rose, give me one of your guys to get on board.
The ambush squad reporting back to command that they think they've killed 1 to 2 squads, which
Silas, did you land a hit on that MTLB?
well, 1, yeah.
Yeah, clear side hit. I didn't realize the AT-4s had nerf damage.
Looks like they're going to be some dismounts here. I wonder if they're going to try to use the MTLB as a shield.
Ground should be going out. Can I have him spawn in on the relic?
Sorry.
Uh-oh. U.S. mortars. Having trouble hearing where the mortars might land. I imagine it's this intersection. Oh, yeah. Pretty much nails right beside the MTLB as it maneuvers out of the intersection. I wonder how much damage it's taken. It's not smoking, so it might be superficial damage. You gotta really hit a mortar head on for it to actually damage a vehicle significantly. Otherwise, you would see it beginning to have like a smoke trail. Oh, another fender bender. The transport is falling behind. It's got a nice little interval here. The MTLB is still rolling pretty fast. I wonder if Russia are intending to disengage from their mortar mission, which would be the point of stealing that Logi.
Yep, that's the idea. Hopefully the gunners can see.
Mortars are a pretty important tool for Russia, especially since they can resupply their base, their mortar base, with as much ammo as they can carry from in one load, you know, with the truck. And looks like we're gonna bypass it, unless I'm totally missing where we're driving to. No, we're gonna bypass it. Looks like they're gonna attack the castle from the north with the remaining forces. U.S. have already shot a mortar round. I think it was just one round, so they still have plenty of firepower left.
We're gonna circle
and
west.
there's a U.S. buddy team in these buildings up here as a sort of,
they're moving right past my
I
northern
guess,
fire team.
motion tracker, if you will. And they're
I
definitely
need grids.
reporting
I need
motion
grids of
in the form of
MTLBs.
2 MTLBs and a truck. So this is going to cause the U.S. force to sort of redeploy their position.
G345.
And this is also,
G346,
with the way that the MTLBs are right here,
G345.
the U.S. are going to be able to put some mortars on these guys, unless the MTLBs.
My
They
southern
called out
guys move north.
G345 and
move north.
yeah, that's exactly right. A
Move
dead-on call
towards
for one of the
town and then
MTLBs. The second
fortify
one
the north side.
bugs out a little bit to the what is that? That's our east here, and the Russians are going to attack north to south on the castle. They're going to go through the buildings here. They're going to find a U.S. team if they clear everything. So far, the Russians' luck with clearing buildings, not very good. The whole fire team got destroyed over at the ambush site. And, yep, Squad Lead 2 goes inside, but doesn't check upstairs.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what the hell?
It's okay.
Uh-oh, some friendly fire. Yeah, but U.S. forces are engaging from another building. Wow, look at that angle. Look at that angle. They shot through the slits of the window. And there's a lat unit in there too, so... Oh, the mortar, he repositioned. Yeah, the MTLB repositioned just in time. he got engaged by the AR gunner over there, and decided to move. Mortar's not effective. That was a full volley. Juzo takes out one, and there's a second U.S. soldier in here. This pizza delivery guy. And then Juzo takes him down with a peek up the stairs. And the northern security point for U.S. is taken down. Mortars. The mortars are a little bit far. I suppose they were looking for the MTLB. They looked like they were about 20 to 30 meters off here. More mortars coming out.
All right, I need
so
y'all to send mortars out on
in their corrections here.
G319
The
in that
US are going to
building.
throw another volley.
And
MTLB's going to move.
G315.
Let's see where these mortars land. Probably about another 5 seconds here.
I just called it in. They're engaging a MTLB at the moment.
Mortars need to come left a hair, probably about 1 degree.
If you're coming from northwest, north of you guys marked, north of you, they're close across the road.
Okay, my guys in the west need to be maneuverable. Y'all have the lat.
U.S. mortars
Jenkins, where are
long
they?
again. Russian forces continuing to push forward here. They're going building to building. Some resistance over here in the west. Looks like they got locked down by an AR. There's also an AR team, a buddy team over here up on the hill.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're definitely pushing the north flank.
Squad lead
We're
Axe.
getting hit hard.
Another U.S. goes down.
I need a medic.
Axe is pretty close to the action here. I guess he's running from cover. He's running away right now. Bump is actually right behind him.
Fall
I
back.
wonder if, no, Bump
Fall
runs
back.
away.
Alamo in the town. Alamo in the town.
Axe jumps enough fences to get away.
So I saw an enemy to our south by southwest, maybe 2 houses down.
U.S. squad that's in charge of security over here, ordering his forces to fall back. And for the most part, they're complying, and they're able to do so with some pretty good cover with all the fences and buildings around here.
I would say he was at level of that round.
U.S. mortars off the mark again. This time by about 40 meters behind the MTLB. Another volley. They are not... I wonder if they're just shooting too far or what, but they're using a lot of resources. Every time you reload the mortar, it costs ammo points. And they only have a finite amount of ammo points. Here comes another volley from U.S. Russian forces getting slowly picked off. The ambush squad has actually came back, and they're attacking the Russians that were trying to push through the warehouse. They've got them stopped. They're searching a buddy team forward. That's not good. Meanwhile, the mortars continuing to be off the mark. A little bit closer, but no effect on target. Looks like these Russians are going to get out of here. They're going to get a ride with the MTLB.
I don't know how long we can
and
hold
it's probably a
this.
good call. The ambush squad has come back and they've put themselves in a high-rise apartment building, and they're surging a buddy team plus, looks like a fire team, around to their west. While the Russians reconsolidate, they're going to make another push here. Let's check out how the castle defenses are going right now. And there's a bunch of sandbag walls, some HESCO blocks. They're a little bit taller than sandbag walls. U.S. soldier with AT-4 out, ready to attack a vehicle. And here's the mortar man. Mortars. It's Crispy running mortars. And barbed wire, sandbags, protecting the radio. And the radio is the main objective for the Russian forces. Oh, you can see the MTLB is actually perched up here. All the U.S. are hiding. The MTLB's just sitting there. I wonder if the mortar guys are actually going to figure out what their corrections need to be.
All right, adjust.
Oh. Crispy got one. The mortars are still off, but they were able to take out a squad lead, and that was a fire team leader. More mortars being shot at. They're really trying to nail this MTLB. Oh, this one's more accurate. Oh, a direct hit. Oh, it's like two of them. I think one of those was maybe directly behind the MTLB. But one of those had to have been a direct hit. You can see it smoking. More mortars. The MTLB bugs out. Finally on target. Now all he's got to do is just bring it in. Just a few, oh, what's the unit measurement for mortars? I forget. They just got to drop the mortar a few, and a lot more now, and actually the MTLB may be getting a little bit closer to try to get inside the mortar strike range. But the closer he gets to the castle, you're going to have lat problems to deal with. Mortars landing on the MTLB hold position, actually correcting, but not enough. A Russian attack team has made it up to the riverbank, and they're running along the road that runs next to the water. But the Russians are actually moving really close here. And the MTLB is providing enough suppression that the Russians, or the Americans, can't really get a shot off. Ooh, Silent drops one. That was a great shot. And then Silent immediately goes down and bandages, it looks like. So maybe a trade there. Oh, and the Russians climb up the wall. Jacko 800 gets two, gets three. The squad lead. The squad lead that was there ran away. Who was that? That was Rose Dragon. And he's not even looking around behind him. Oh, the AT-4 point blank shot directly into the MTLB. Pops one MTLB. Just over the castle wall. You gotta expect that. The Russians are now in the compound now. They climb up the castle walls. They've stormed in. Rose Dragon trades bullets with Compton. Compton gets hit, and he's going to bandage right here. MG shoots through the window. And US have abandoned their mortars because the mortar tube is right there. The guy stands on the mortar. Ooh, that's not enough aggression clearing that corner, my dude. And they're going to throw a blind frag. No one's here. American forces redeploying to try to get some center security here. But there's a lot of forces to the north here. This is not good. The Russians need to get in. The Russians need to try to get in position here as fast as they can. More grenades getting thrown. And there is a lot of smoke. Looking at 6 Russians that have made it in 7, 8, and 9 on the wall. 2 more to the north. And it's hard to see through the smoke here, but BVD runner may have wounded one. And Russians making it up on the ramparts here. Swag Daddy Juice finally gets another one. but Compton MG is mounted.
Got one.
Able to take another one down. Russians using smokes to great advantage here. Russians trying to peek this corner here. Oh, there's a knife kill. The BVD runner gets a knife kill on the MG.
Nice work.
Oh, and the guy who just told Mr. Moneyman goes down. Oh, the US are going in straight into the compound. You're just gonna shoot the Russians in the back. There goes two. No. Wow! That was amazing. He went full auto at point blank range, and the Russian, and then what's this? JDR gets 3 in the back. Oh my God! First of all, squad lead charges up, goes full auto. Should have gotten 2, gets 1, couldn't trade with the other guy, and then JDR comes in on the opposite side of the staircase. No Americans looking at him. Clears the Americans on the staircase. More Americans on the way though, and there seems to be about a squad way to the north here. Oh my God. The Russians getting really close here. They've actually cleared all the way to the radio. And they're digging the radio now. So this is a technical victory for Russia here. They get to trade places and become the defenders. Oh, JDR gets shot. More Americans actually climb in. That was marking 74-37. Then he gets shot up. A grenade gets thrown here. The Americans are still in the compound.
Gone.
Keep going.
And the Honor, under silence direction, continues digging the radio. Americans not really making a move back to defend. There seems to be about 4. There's 4 in the courtyard here, and Sauce and Northern, they're gonna try the footbridge, and they're gonna take a crack at the courtyard, clearing the courtyard here. And after all that action, 25 kills for Russians, 25 kills for US. So it's pretty even.
Same.
Considering the US had that great ambush that just turned out in their favor. Oh, then the US are coming up the stairs on both sides. Looks like Silent goes down there, but 2 US dead as they climb up the walls. There's a staircase right here under this awning. And Berserker able to get out of the way in time there, as dodging and advancing decide to take their chances up the concrete stairs here. Sauce and Nordyland are coming in behind, and if they decide to push all the way through to the stairs, they're going to get 2 US in the back. US forces to the north starting to run back to the base. That MTLB is still up too. Although I think it just has a driver and a gunner in it. So not really. We're getting down to the wire here. About a squad effective left for both teams. But Russian victory, it lies upon surviving to tell the tale, as they have taken down the radio in the castle. And so the Russians are set to win here. Berserker still trying to suppress infantry, trying to come up the stairs here. And ooh, Berserker gets a little antsy there and tries to come out. The US threw a frag. Seems like it didn't get anyone. Maybe one guy's bandaging right now, but they're spread back out. And the US here are going to take a defensive position, knowing they're outnumbered, or they must be feeling they're outnumbered.
Hey, I took fire from the village.
Berserker calling out contacts to the south, or to the north, rather.
What's the objective now? The objective
So Zerker looking out to his north here. And advancing gets one that was trying to peek up on top of the roof. Russians running across the open, and Zerker gets nothing. Matter of fact, I think he gets it. This happens when you go full auto. Russians getting really close here. Kip's able to get one, get two. The Russians clear out the courtyard, and now the Americans have to re-enter, and they're going to do it through the footbridge. Oh, what? The other Americans, they're climbing up the wall? There's 5 Americans here. What is Silas is gonna... Oh, they take out the MTLB. MTLB get out. Silas is on this ledge, and I guess he wants to try to get up where the radio was and get around behind. Russian soldier Gurwolf here is looking around. Oh yeah, Silas. This ledge is legit, and Silas does it. It knocks down Gurwolf. This ledge is legit. There are rules about what kind of walls you're allowed to walk on, and that's wide enough for sure for it to count. It's mainly meant to prevent people walking on fences.
Get ready. Here.
That's my interpretation of that rule. It's mainly there to prevent people from walking on like razor thin fences, like wood plank fences. Americans trying to retake the compound. Nordyland goes down. Americans are doing it. There's not really a lot of Russians left, actually. Hurst gets 2 here. Let's do a little recount here. I think there's only 2 Russians left. Unless I'm missing someone. Yeah, there's 2 Russians left. The U.S. have able to make a comeback here. Hers is got this down pat. Although if he takes a look over here, oh yeah, come on. Oh, and that's what happens when you go full auto. What a big dummy! Come on, Hers, go single. Come on, he gets hit too, so he's gonna bandage the guy below him. Hers on 3 kills, so you know, in an operation like this, if you get 1 kill in a one life operation, generally, if I get 1 kill, I'm happy, right?
Yeah, it's just you and I.
You get face cam bcarr. You may not.
One over here. Not sure if he's still up or not.
Please.
Okay, that might have been the same guy. I don't know if that was you or if
The Honor's a medic, so I think he's just healed hers back up. The Honor not looking towards the stairs though.
I guess, and then we're supposed to clear it and then hold it, I think.
They need to try to figure out what they're going to take care of. One person needs. Yep, and here we go. If they hold this area right here, it's a little cheeky, but it'll work. And I think we're down to 2 versus 2 right now. So it's the Honor and hers, and the U.S. players are Sinister and the Goon is actually come out. The Honor is looking right at him. Nope. Ooh, hers gets a shot through the sandbag. Nope. And leaning around the sandbag. Oh, and he's dead. So hers is dead, and that's GG. Russians able to bring it back all the way down to 2.
Well, that was a close fucking game.
That was a close. Yeah, Diamond got it right. That was a close fucking game.
They flanked hers. I'm sorry, dude.
Wow. This is why we love Rook, because it brings these awesome attack defense scenarios, and it just makes it super close because there's a lot of ways it can play out. And like you saw, it was 2 kills game. It was a 2 kill difference game. 35 kills for Russia, 33 kills for US. US able to make it alive. And we are going to come back with round 2 very, very shortly. We will be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we are suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of this is to keep the enemy's head down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. During this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically, whether it be with buddy teams or fire teams. The whole intent is to ensure there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. All right, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when on patrol or when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And these are a few of the basic formations that we use during squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
far?
Yeah, solid.
Okay. We're going to be indefinitely there. I want you to stay hidden and below that ridgeline.
Welcome back to Squad Ops 1 Live Events. Round 2 of Operation Rook. Getting ready to get underway here. We're setting up for it right now. I'm bcarr. Joining me is Shadow Ritual running the multicam production. And let's get a little bit more detail here about what this operation's all about. Obviously, you know about this castle. Castle's cool. It's got some walls. It's called Herman Castle. The U.S. have a position here, sort of along the border with a country that uses Cyrillic as an alphabet. And the Russians want to take over this place. They want to use this particular castle for nefarious purposes or what have you. The Russians are going to attack this, going to attack Herman Castle from their operating base on the other side of the river. However, there's some supplies they're going to need that could be useful to them. There's some supplies stranded in the middle of the city near a gas station. And if they're able to secure those supplies, they're able to add a indirect fire base wherever they liked on the map. Well, not wherever they like on the map, but there's a restriction where they can place it. But 2 mortar tubes is pretty OP for pounding an enemy position into, you know, suppression. They tried it with the MTLBs last time and they got really close, but some mistakes with the MTLBs were made. One of them pushing up to the castle wall and letting a lat unit get a, you know, point blank top down kill on it was kind of a bad idea.
Okay, so basically you're going to hold there. Rose is going to hold where he's holding.
For this round, we've switched from last round, so that means Sugar is in charge of Russia this time, and his squad leads are Dorf, Rose Dragon, Lawn Darts, and Axe Gaming, and that means Storm is commanding US this time, and he's got Assault, Iron Tyrant, Phoenix, and HML.
Your ground team is going to push with Rose. Go ahead.
You know, last round was really close. It's probably the closest I've seen Rook. Well, it's not the closest I've ever seen Rook. I'm pretty sure Rook has come down to like a 1v3 that the one guy actually won once. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that. That was a few months ago. Rook has kind of always come down to these really small numbers here, just based on the fact that this castle is a pain to protect. It's wide open. There are some buildings you can take shelter in, but those buildings don't really have any hold on choke points that you want to defend. Oh, they do and they don't. I mean, the stairwell is right. The stairwell in the castle is a pretty good artery for troops flowing in. As you, if you were watching round 1, the U.S. reattacking the position, but it's the double-edged sword of anyone could just walk up to the, you know, side of the stairwell here and just shoot down. It's a lot easier to look down and shoot than look up and shoot, in my experience. I don't know if you're just more aware looking down or what, or looking up just takes more thinking. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. What matters is that U.S. were able to claw that one back by 2. And now the Russians are gonna have a chance to do it. And the Russians didn't even have the mortar base. Think about that for a second. There's really no indirect. There was really no indirect fire for Russia there, and they should have had something, but they decided to abandon the Logi after, or trying to get the Logi after they were just shut down. Not even like 2 blocks away from where the Logi was.
Get him in quick. We don't have a lot.
Anyway, the Russians are going to have a platoon brief, and we're going to go listen in.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it was me, man.
Yeah, dude, you clapped some cheeks there.
Alright, let's make sure we have shovels out, guys. Just safety shovels so that we don't get shot. Thank you, guys.
Putin doesn't pay me enough. Binoculars.
Set up your. Can you put down your marks, Rose and Axe, so that your guys know where they're going, so I can brief through. All right, gentlemen. That was a good job last round. We didn't quite defend the radio as much as we wanted to. However, we did technically kill all the enemies. So, good job on that. That was a hard-fought battle, and you all did very well. So, for the next trick, we will be assaulting a castle. The grungy Americans are in there desecrating that holy place that is the castle of Narva. And the way that we're going to go about taking that is we're going to try to set up a series of ladders to assault walls. Rose Dragon has been working through the night to get those things made, and we're going to use them to assault the south wall of the castle. The way that we're going to do that is Axe Gaming's squad is going to provide suppression from G526, the light machine gun mark. Axe's squad is going to sit at the HMG mark and then infiltrate the village at the prescribed time. Dorf and Lawndarch squads, you guys are going to be recovering our Logi that has been left at gas station by some careless soldier who went out for a night of drinking and never came back. So, the MTLBs are going to be moving to the south and then west of the gas station, and then you guys are going to push in from that direction to try to recover that. Also, if you should come across any enemy, lodges, I would recommend you blow them up. All right.
So, yes, sir.
Any questions so far?
What happens if we don't secure the Logi?
Well, if we don't secure the Logi, we didn't need it anyway, and we're going to formulate a new assault plan that will be even better than this assault.
Why don't we use rifleman sandbags as to form the ladder if we don't get the Logi?
Because that seems very sketchy, and I wouldn't want to do anything sketchy. I'm afraid of heights.
Well,
Yeah,
you're not
ladders
assaulting
don't make me afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be with you in spirit.
Seems legitimate.
Fair enough.
All right. Any other questions? This is going to be kind of complex. Fire team leads, don't be afraid to ask your squad leaders for questions. Just ask them questions and get to know the plan. Each squad has its own deal that it's going to be working on. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I hope it works out. I mean, no, it'll work out.
Right.
It'll completely work. It's fine. I'm confident.
Complete confidence.
Okay,
If it
one
doesn't work,
final
it's
question.
Cap's
One
propaganda.
final question. Why does Alpha Guido have the map?
So, ladders. When the Russians, when we went to space, we spent millions and millions of dollars developing a pen
You don't care
that writes in zero gravity.
I was gonna swing far south.
And the Russians used a pencil.
Yeah, swing far south is the intent.
The very straightforward, obvious approach to build ladders, I don't think that's been done on Rook. So that's new. It'll be interesting to see how. I hate saying the word interesting, but I mean, I'm really. I don't know how this is gonna work because you have to clear. You have to put some sort of suppression out on the U.S. forces, right? You gotta get them to stop looking out.
Go ahead.
And all they're gonna do is they're just gonna get inside the compound further and hide behind like sandbags that they have inside their castle, and they're just gonna shoot you after you come over the wall. You gotta. This has to be done in conjunction with mortars, or else I don't see how it'll work.
Would you like this in?
You are getting in the MTLBs with Orf.
Get in the lead MPLB.
And the south wall This would be the south wall. You know, this makes a lot of sense if they want to try to put a ladder like maybe here behind the low wall over here, or the low wall in front, the broken wall. There's a broken castle wall and there's a foundation for the wall for the castle. If they put a ladder on the foundation, climb up here, this has a higher chance of success. And you can see this isn't the ladder that they would build, but this is similar to it.
I just want to make sure it's close.
It's about the same height, actually. So it's like a whole story. So yeah, I think the ladder right here would probably be where it would be positioned for the most optimal ascent. And you can see there's the gangway right here with the castle walls as we go live. There's little small holes in the wall that would make it very difficult for Russians to really get a foothold here. But if they were able to, if they're able to suppress them and maybe add mortars to effect, you know, the world is their oyster.
Is that a ND?
As we go live here, the Russians are going to move out from their main base. They're going to move out straight and south. They're not even crossing the rail bridge. They're going to go all the way to the south of Old Main, which is on our map. It's called the Russian Forward Resupply.
Dismount. It's gonna be me. Home run and Sinister.
And the transport has surged way ahead of the convoy. 2 MTLBs far behind, keeping about, looks like 150 meter, and that's more like 200 or 300 meter distance here for trail.
I'm gonna tell how to get there real quick.
It's blocked off, so you have to go around a little bit.
As the U.S. begin fortifying the castle, I imagine the mortar tube is going to be a particularly useful tool for them.
And they can come through anywhere on the south side.
Russians have really gone out of their way. Russians are going to get themselves set and ready to go. They're going to move to the Old Main. Let's check how the... Oh, yeah. U.S., you can see on the map here. Looks like they've committed a squad to the Logi. Or they ambushing the Logi. And this is the main highway that the Russians would probably take to get here.
Alright, let's hold the truck.
Yep, and the U.S. are gonna take a position here. Looks like they have a LAT and their squad lead, HML, along with Scaly Nash's LAT DVD runner. They're gonna be in the apartment building directly south of the gas station and north across the street. Doesn't appear to be a LAT.
My bad. Actually, yeah, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get moving. Get to your hold points.
Oh, they're scaling. He's actually going to move north, so they're going to switch positions here. Yeah, this north building here is a lot more appealing to me as a LAT ambush site, because if you look out this top window here, which is actually not even usable, wow, that's going to have to be a shot. He's going to have to be on the opposite side and shoot through the window. I think he's going to go to the adjacent apartment. The adjacent apartment has more windows accessible and directly on Logi, so I imagine it's one of those, once you see a Russian get near it, just pop it immediately sort of thing.
Do we know our chain of command? Is it the same as last?
Yes, chain of command is the same.
No, just keep pushing north.
Myself, Condor.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to cross over the train tracks or something. So
Alright, TLBs are way circling west. Wow. They're way over here in the industrial zone of Narva.
Action Rose, make sure you guys have solid 360 when you're at your hold position.
Understood.
Rose, you're gonna hold
So I wonder if they're going to dismount troops here very shortly. They're turning off the main road. I'd say it's about a squad and a half between these two MPLVs. So maybe they're only going to put one squad in play to try to get the logic here. About 300 meters away from the Logi, and there's dismounts. Yep. This is great vehicle tactics here. Staggered sort of parking. One left, one right. Usually it's more useful for like a long linear MSR, but I imagine the tactics are still sound for a situation like this. There's one squad, and squad leader is Londarts the master is pushing himself ever closer to Logi.
Copy that.
He's hurting cats, but he's getting there. God bless. And the closest U.S. position here is where HML is. HML definitely has audio on the MTLB at this range. So now he's just looking for Russian troops crossing in the open. The Russians are still behind buildings, but if they cross the street here... Oh, and I think he's still in cover. There's like a little garage, maybe a little wall right next to it that the Russians are still obscured. He definitely hears the MTLB though. The MTLB is creeped up pretty close to the intersection. I imagine it's gonna come right around. Matter of fact, HMO gets out of the way.
I got you too. Medic, stay in the middle between us.
And Alpha, if you can sign someone
Copy.
behind us, just in case.
Oh wow, the Russians across the street.
Get eyes on the 2 stories. Cross the MSR, home run. You can get your bipod down if you want.
Crossing.
The Russians are crossing the street here.
Set. Keep moving.
Moving.
Fire team lead CNC 3000 is working through.
Bad, man.
I think they're going to try to sneak along the west side of the, I guess this is a hospital ruin.
Moving northeast.
Yeah, they're already
Remember
briefed.
boys.
I believe it's called Old Hospital on the Narva AAS maps.
Are we clearing the
Rose, make sure your fire team leads know that they
Yeah, go ahead and clear it.
can build the ladders after you die.
Okay, moving.
As long as they have squad.
We'll check here.
Important point for the mod that Shukart reaffirms to his command. squad leads, that FTLs have the ability to build as long as they have squad leader. And in our operations, the chain of command inside of a squad comes from the SL, and then the next in line is your Alpha fire team lead, and then your Bravo fire team lead. And each squad has 2 FTLs.
Copy. Just getting my guys organized.
After that, you've lost your connection to the Matrix. No, not the Matrix. That's the wrong joke I was going for.
Yeah, it's just to the east.
Yeah, Russian's forces gotten really close to the Logi now.
One's in it. Drive to Fox 535.
Lawn Darts has gotten within about 150 meters, 100 meters of the gas station, and this lat unit is in 100% ambush mode. He's waiting for someone to press the E key that turns on an engine in a vehicle, and once he hears that diesel engine pop up, he's just gonna hit his crouch control and throw a rocket throw his AT-4 straight through the window. Lawn Darts has a fire team pushed up real close to his objective. I think this is the force he wants to probably make the assault with. Actually, there's another force. No, that's really far away. The Russians, let's get a reset on what's actually happening. Oh no, Lawn Dart's moving his forces across the street.
Matt, you cover this corner here.
Got left.
And they're able to get behind the buildings. They're getting really close to their objective. The US aren't even looking. They have sandbags in this building. They're expecting a fight.
Someone call my name?
What is up with that?
Negative.
What is the logic in that right there? I guess they're expecting Russians to clear building to building.
The other belly appeared in front of that truck.
Oh, no.
Okay, ERs, into my position. You will be covering us while me and the medic push.
Russians are getting ready. They're going to set up here. FTL calls for his AR.
I need
and
you
I
to
think
clearing the buildings. The white one and the yellow one.
120.
Alright, I'm ready.
Oh, smoke.
Check the smokes.
They're throwing smoke. They're throwing smoke. The AT guy is, I'm sure he's waiting. Here we go. Lawn Darts running straight. Oh, there it is. What is he doing? He stands up too late. He missed it. No, he got a second shot. Oh my god! The Logi turned around.
Logi went up. Copy that. Alright.
Oh my god! What luck!
Alright, 2, mount up in the MTLBs.
You could have just gone this way. Look at it, it's wide open.
Copy, we're about to mount up.
The Logi truck pulls out of the gas station and
Start your infiltration into the village now.
follows the rules of the road. Good guy, Lawn Darts, driving like you're supposed to. I mean, granted, he's driving on the left, but still, at least he's driving on the road. Lawn Darts in Louisiana, though, so he's driving on the right, but no matter what his voice sounds like. So there you go. No mortars for Russia, and is that mortars for out of U.S.? I wonder what they're gonna. I wonder where they're shooting those guys. I wonder where those mortars are gonna land. They're coming this way. I think they were trying to aim at the MTLB, but the MTLB was a ways off. The MTLB's disengaged to the north, disengaged to the south.
Where do you want one going next?
It was 3 down for US, or 3 down for Russia in that wreck.
Copy that. Do you want me doing all buildings or just the close ones?
And the US forces responsible for the shot. Got to be feeling pretty good about that. AT soldier making the shot was Scaly Nash 89.
I'll do the ones that are largest.
One of the new members of the community. Definitely seen his name before, but he's definitely pretty new. Just goes to show you, with basic, you too can do wonderful things like change the entire course of an operation. Speaking of basic, we actually have, was it like 9 basic classes this month? You should probably sign up if you want to play in these events. Check the calendar on squadops.gg for details. Of course, you need to register there to be able to do all this. You register there, you join our Discord, and then you sign up for basic. And after you complete basic, you can sign up for pretty much any operation that's on the calendar.
Alright, dismount 2. 1, start your infiltration.
So far, Russians still ahead of what, the Russians this round still ahead of the Russians last round. My colleague Shadowed making a great point that Russians only lost 3 in the Logi.
Hop on here.
Meanwhile, Russians pushed last round under Storm and lost a full squad from the ambush. So while the ladders will not be coming out for Russia, they're now relying on their MTLBs. Looks like they're going to put fire teams in apartment buildings to give some height advantage to some shots here. Rose Dragon squad is spread out here, looks like.
Okay, distance from 4 and 2 will be moving with me.
And there's a second squad to the south of the castle. X Gaming is in charge of this. He's got his binocs out. He's looking for anyone over the wall.
All right, move up to the wall. Move up to that tiny wall up there. To our northwest. Move now.
Taking fire of castle.
Copy that.
Crawl up there.
And mortars.
Good space.
Enemy contact southwest, entering the buildings with the green.
U.S. mortars. I wonder where they're going out at.
Copy that.
Yep. Not quite there, about 50 meters off, but MG's engaging the Russian forces here by axe. You can see the MGs. It's about a 150, 200 meter shot here, maybe even more. He's got himself a nice little porthole here in his sandbag wall, and he's deployed.
What do you want with the other MTB?
The other MTB, I wanted to down there and engaging the wall.
And this guy not afraid to pop up and down.
Should be
And here's a, I wonder who this is. Iron Tyrant, so it's a U.S. squad lead. Got eyes on his south. More mortars coming out.
Oh, MTLB is on the bridge due south. MTLB is currently sitting in Golf 675. Golf 675.
MTLBs are actually on the bridge. One of them is. The second one is a little bit closer. Mortars coming in on X Gaming squad. Ooh. More on target. The third one is actually inside the walls, but I don't think it hurts anyone. Nope, bandaging. There's 3 people bandaging right now.
Where are you getting engaged from currently? Just the city?
Desmond and Cyberclone, and I think I am in this. Or I'm in.
This is a bad spot.
I'm in.
I don't like this.
Just now realizing that open ground between him and the castle is a bad place to be.
Okay, my guy's clear to fire. Just hammer him. I mean, there's nothing we can do. We're
Max
in a
trying
bad
to crawl
spot.
forward here. He wants to get better eyes on the castle. Orders his squad to open up behind him and get some suppression. But another round of mortars coming in. Mortars just a bit far, however.
Alright, we're gonna start opening up fire.
I think some more U.S. mortars have
Did
come
you just
out.
blow something up? Wall. 1, start moving if you can.
Russian squad is actually getting really close to a footbridge here on the west.
Let's get all the MTLBs firing, get all the guns.
They have an MTLB in support suppressing the castle wall, and I think this is Rose Dragon's squad. Yep, Fulcrum's in charge now, so Rose Dragon's dead. They're throwing smokes. However, there's U.S. infantry on the northern hills on the rock face across from the castle, and they're shutting down this approach really hard. ARs and MG at range.
You can go around the other way.
Alright, I'm at you.
Once the smoke fills up so fast,
Hope you guys get the other way now.
Russians trying to smoke it off. Oh, the MTLB's on the main road. What is he doing? There's a lat unit in the lat unit. It's hit the front leg armor. He definitely got hit by that rocket, however. Oh, a second. Oh, I think it was a.
Alright, we gotta move around the
MTLB definitely got hit with the front right armor, and it bugs out. But look at this, a Fire Team Plus has made it across, and Fulcrum leading the formation here. Boogeyman and Dashby get across. It's Crispy running along the south wall. More Russian forces get across the river here. They get across the little moat here, and Fulcrum's going to actually start storming the castle from the south wall. Hey, if you can't put ladders here, you might as well just come up and over. MTLB providing great cover. Oh, but Fulcrum goes down. Look at that shot.
Copy that. Alright, Crispy, keep your guys out.
Follow me.
Driver right.
My guys are now laying down suppression.
Driver takes on the road.
Copy
Where'd
that,
that
2. I
mortar
need you to
land?
start moving into the wall. Into the south wall.
Wow, some delayed reaction in the mortar there. I think that was where the Russians came across the river or close to it, but nobody there now.
Alright, Axe, start moving up.
Copy that.
Dashby
Move up to the wall.
trying to clear it out. The U.S. position here is much better for defending a southern push, because the fact that how many people they have in the courtyard, and also there's a bunch of anti-chambers.
ARs,
and
move up to the
small,
rocks we were at.
Closets off the side here. Oh my God! Mortar took out 5. Wow. One mortar took out 5. Maybe another 1 or 2 on the top of the floor right here on the southern wall. So the Russian attack has been pretty much ripped apart. Looking at 2 kills for Russia, 15 kills for US at this point. US doing a superb job. Oh, the MTLB.
Victor, so you know the last lat is most likely inside the castle.
MTLB having trouble getting through the wall here. I think I got stuck on the hole.
There's one above me.
No, I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
There are some Russians that tried to go around, but they got shut down. They got shut down by U.S. soldiers on the rock across. Where that bunker is. There's an MG actually set up there. Revy trying to push a squad through there. More KIA here. MTLB is
have that MTLB read down how he's got her
decided he doesn't want to move.
There's like an AR watching the game we can't in.
What MTLB?
Alright, MTLB, just do what you can.
Yep.
Dashby and Lex Ryan trying to work their way around to the west side of the wall. They want to go up where the footbridge is. We're actually down to about a squad worth of people left.
Alright, so I'll go with you soon. Alright, I'll
The MTLB. This MTLB has been hit already in the side.
A little bit to the right. I can't see behind the tree. I lost behind the tree.
Alpha Guido, I think Gunner. There's a fire team behind. This is Sir Zerker. Right in the back. Sir Zerker there with a rare shot on the MTLB. Takes it down. And Silent leads his fire team away. More mortars land. Not sure they were effective on anything. Although that MTLB is trying to get around. He's gonna try to get around on the southern wall. Dashby got killed by something. I think he got shot. Lex Ryan is over here by himself. Russians down to it now. 6 kills for Russians, 22 kills for US. MTLB has made it into the courtyard.
Okay, go left.
Desmond goes down on the rocks finally.
Stop.
I guess the MTLB is going to go door to door.
Forward.
More mortar shots.
Right,
Actually, there's the mortar right there. Storm is on the mortar.
I'll push from you.
Right.
There's a light unit right here, but I think this is the lat guy that I got a shot on the. The Russians have actually all come to the southern side of the castle
Then
here.
back up and go back.
There's 5 Russians on foot.
Oh shit, there's a guy behind
6
us.
Russians on foot plus the MTLB. And the Russians
I'm getting
on
out real
foot
quick.
getting shot down. Multiple dead here.
Use the cell. Come here, Revy, come here.
Oh, is that a grenade? I think the MTLB here took a front shot.
Clear, 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 clear. I killed him.
Storm was looking right at the MTLB, and command goes down. Is that command down? No, that's not command down.
It's clear. Oh, sorry.
I think it's just 2 squad leads left for Russia here. Definitely not 2 squads between them.
Command, do you want us to return positions and keep
Who is this all the way over here? Jake Karen Jones.
Alright, so I want 3. I want 3 to stay where they are. I need 4 to keep pushing.
Jake Karen Jones to the west
on the...
lost his buddy. U.S. forces consolidated around the roundabout. Just lost his buddy over here, way on the west flank. They're now taking shots at HML. Take them down. Still plenty of U.S. forces. Still plenty of U.S. forces in defensive positions there.
That's me. Don't look at me.
I'm looking at you. Yeah.
This is Diamond here is just holding the door, waiting for someone to come through. Russian forces considerably down. I think we're looking at 1, 2, 3 Russians left. Russian forces trying to push out of the southern corridor here, and we're unable to do so. So Dorf,
there's a guy on the
has
top
a crewman
floor,
squad
second
lead
floor.
kit, so he was probably the driver
Guy
of the
on
vehicle.
the second floor of the fob radio building.
And it's just the vehicle left. I think that also means, if I'm not mistaken, I wonder if there's any more AT left on US. Pretty sure there were 4 rockets fired by on US, so that means there's no AT left. However, that doesn't mean that the MTLB is just gonna, the MTLB gunner is just gonna be able to sit here and pan left and right and up and down, looking for targets. Dorf gets shot at.
While you were talking to command, there was a guy who peeked outside of the building. That's to my 030.
Okay.
Oh, it was Jake Karen. Jake Carranza Jones takes some shots at some pursuers. And just as I turned to look away, Dorf takes a few shots. I think he drops on one. Storm falling back here.
That building?
Yeah, he's not going to beat that. Not with it.
Alright, just hold that. Oh, yeah, you just missed him. Hold ammo, because you don't have a whole lot left.
I think there's 3 people left for Russia.
Just engage.
Jake Carranza zones, which I think he got stranded from his forces on the west. Dorf gets hit here. What a shot. Serzerker or Silent or the Honor, one of those 3 shoots Dorf on the rampart here. Dorf has to bandage. I think Silent's taking more shots at Dorf. No, that was Serzerker. Nope, Silent, because Silent's in the window.
They're in windows, I can't see them through.
Dorf is not. Silent is got a great position here. If Dorf pops his head up, Silent's going to be able to take a shot at him. But Dorf is prone, and he's crawling along the ramparts here. I don't think Silent sees him. Oh, Dorf's crawling down the stairs.
Alright, you might as well just get out.
Alright, getting out.
And there's the
north.
MTLB driver, or the gunner. Oh, and Mr. Moneyman wakes up, shoots Dorf in the back. Oh, there's a trade. Mr. Moneyman gets hit. And he's not bandaging? It will take Ferdius out, though. No bandage action yet from Mr. Moneyman. It looks like he's bleeding.
Who's my LAT?
But now we're down to
left?
one U.S. or one Russia
come
left. That's J. Carrazas Jones.
Okay, so you can obviously hear this guy. What I'm gonna need you to do, there's a ladder right here. His ass is facing the south side, okay? There's enemy contact on the southwest building.
Trying to get around the fence here by the AT squad and SGG. Operation Rook. So should 2 out of 2.
Lord Sugart let us down.
Wait, not 2 out of 2. US 2 out of 2, rather, is what I should say.
I'm sorry,
so, defender's
I'm not sorry,
advantage.
guys did excellent.
This is kind of what it's all about, really. Although the first game wasn't a real example of defender's advantage. Second game definitely was. So, that was Operation Rook. Thanks for watching. And you can find more content like this over on our YouTube and Twitch. YouTube.com/SquadOps, Twitch.tv/SquadOps. Give us a subscribe and a follow, and you'll be notified of when we go live, which is twice on Saturdays, Saturday morning, or depending on your time zone, which you can actually find on our calendar on the website, squadops.gg. And on Wednesdays, we go live on Wednesday nights, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. All the events we have on our website listed on our calendar. Please check that out. It's all times in your time zone, thanks to the power of the internet. And you can sign up there to join our community, join our Discord, and chat away. We've also got a few servers to play the regular game with, not the regular game, the public game. For Shattered Ritual, I'm bcarr. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.